not going to get to that yet. We're going to get to our first topic, which is going to start off with a little bit of Seahawks talk. Are the Seahawks making a mistake if they re-sign Geno Smith, or I said Geno, to a long-term deal? And what are your thoughts on what type of deal they should re-sign him to? Do you believe that you guys have your QB of the future on the roster, which is what I was meaning?
Yeah.
Personally, yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
No, sorry. Go ahead. My bad.
I was just going to say Geno Smith, free agent, anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to allow him to be a free agent if the negotiations don't go through, because I do think the franchise tag is a part of this that could come into play. I'm sure you're seeing the same thing popping off right now with the Daniel Jones stuff and the talk of what his camp is wanting. And for my money, this is a personal thing. I think the quarterback contracts have gotten far out of whack in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that there is a argument to be made that this carrying force that says, well, you have to have the quarterback to put the cape on, flapping in the wind, flying through the crowds, faster than a speeding bullet, doing everything for your team. Maybe you don't need, yes, it's nice to have one of those, but first and foremost, maybe there's only a few set of those guys rather than us paying, National League football wise, 15 of those guys. Maybe there is only 2 or 3 of those guys truly. And that the rest all do kind of fit around in the same stack. It's just in a varied level of that stack. And then what is the value of those guys? Well, to me, if you're not at the top of the top, then you should be more in a mid-tier deal. That kind of deal that doesn't exist right now in football and doesn't look like it's frankly going to materialize this offseason. When you're hearing Daniel Jones camp asking for 45, when you hear Geno Smith turning down $30 million a year, it means we're probably going to see these numbers continue to go up. And I'm pushing back against it. I look at what Geno did this year. I look at what Brock Purdy was able to accomplish with the Niners. I look at what Jalen Hurts has accomplished with the Eagles. I look around the league and I see that there's conditions that can happen where you have a quarterback who may have limitations, yet they can still really perform really well if you stacked up a great supporting cast around them in more ways than one.
Mm-hmm. I completely agree. I think, like you said, we're at the age now. I think even though it shouldn't be that they're getting paid this much, we're at the age now where, like the age of football now, where, you have all these quarterbacks. I think basically, like you said, every quarterback is getting overpaid except for a Patrick Mahomes or a Jalen Hurts, which is about to get paid. I think he's going to get paid a lot of money. I think he's definitely not overpaid. But like, you saying like Kirk Cousins, I think his deal is like $40 million a year.
Right.
I think Geno Smith can match up with a Kirk Cousins type. Like if you're looking at those two guys' credentials, Kirk Cousins made it to the first round of the playoffs this year. Geno Smith, first round of the playoffs this year. And the Seahawks were playing a harder team in the 49ers. So if you're looking at their credentials, I think Geno Smith has done just as much as Kirk Cousins. So if you're Geno Smith and you're kind of on the negotiation table, you're saying, even though the market shouldn't be this way, I still really am worth $40 million because that's what Kirk Cousins, which is, I believe in this, they're in the same tier. He's worth $40 million a year. So I should be worth that too.
Yeah, I don't begrudge Geno Smith asking for that money or thinking that he's earned that money or that there would be somebody in the league that would pay him that if he was a free agent or if the Seattle traded him, if they franchise tagged him. I can completely understand him saying, yeah, I got the money coming. My problem comes into it from a standpoint of proper team building. And you look at these contracts given to most of these quarterbacks, and a lot of times it's situations where the teams are giving it out of desperation or laziness. Desperation because they just can't quite find that quarterback. Laziness because it's so easy to just go to this one spot and go, okay, you be the savior, as opposed to having to make all of the right decisions down the line, from your defensive line, your offensive line, to how you segment out the money, which is harder, which is more complicated, which requires you to be right more often than just being right or wrong on one key given decision. So I think it's those two things that really push this forward. And I think the smart, forward-thinking general manager is the one that either attempts A, to find the middle tier deal that has yet to exist, or B, continue to just operate under the right blueprint to going and winning a Super Bowl if your name's not Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes, which is having a young quarterback on a rookie deal, and take advantage of that time.
So do you think since there's an argument to be made on the Seahawks side of things, like you're pretty old, do you think, so what would the deal look like? Like 3, 4, 5 years? Probably 3, I would say 2, 3 years.
It would be
old.
Yeah, it would be 3 because he is old. He's 32. So to me, it's a 3-year deal. When we get down to what the cost is, here's what I think it's going to boil down to. I think Geno's camp's coming in and asked for 40. Seattle's offered 30. 35 would be the obvious in-between point. Seattle's probably going to grind him down to 32.5 on a 3-year deal. That's too much money. I wouldn't want to pay that much money to him. 25 a year is the top I would go in a 3-year deal. You're missing the 4th year to massage the numbers out, which means the cost is automatically going to even increase, even with the bonus money and when you pair it. Unless you're just able to guarantee all the money and no bonus money, which he's not going to want to do that. So I think that's just a bit too high for me. I don't like even paying the 25, to be honest with you, but I could say, oh, you're worth that. Then I can at least get you in that mid-tier deal. 50 is the top, 25 a mid. That sounds right to me. You're right. He is worth the 40, but if we want to be where the team should be trying to operate, that's the right spot.